Good afternoon to you all on this beautiful afternoon here at Amalgamated Baseball Grounds. My name is Pip Cleverly. You're listening to Radio WGY, Amalgamated Radio for the working man and the working class. This is an intra-state rivalry between Schenectady's Amalgamated Baseball Holdings, who will get the first out by grounding out Versi Moore right to Todd Gonzalez, throw to Dustis in time. And the New York Haberdashers, 16-4 of the Haberdashers, 4.5 games out of first place. Amalgamated Baseball Holdings, 12-18, after getting a win over the New Ohio Debonaires. Hopefully that is a bit of confidence to build off of. Moss Wurtz was the second out, and this is Stump Phillips. 14 home runs for him this entire season. He's a bit short, goes right to Mike Truck for out number 3, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for the Haberdashers to get things started. Taking the mound for the Haberdashers today is Bonky Gorman. 2-4 this season, 4.54 is his ERA. And he'll get Bobson Dugnut flying out to Boob Jenner, who is playing second base today. So a bit of a shake-up in the infield for the Haberdashers. Foulball Duncans has found its way at third base. This is Orlando Dwin for ABH. 2-1 the count at the moment. Bonky Gorman, not much of a strikeout pitcher, as he fills up the count on Orlando Dwin. I say that as he gets him looking, striking out, his first strikeout of the game. His 9th on the season, which is, again, this is his 8th start. Not typically a strikeout pitcher, but he faces Mike Truck, who is 53 hits this season, 10 home runs. Make it 11. It's to industry. A home run for Mike Truck. And last season's home run leader, the man himself, Mike Truck, gets things started and makes it 1-0 in favor of Amalgamated Baseball Holdings. To industry, indeed. Following up, Ortiz Ranchez grounds it right to Trevor Knockmore. Throw in time to Moss Wurtz, and that is the one blip on the radar so far. Mike Truck's solo home run makes it 1-0 in favor of the home side. Orwell Holland takes the mound. He's been one of the best pitchers for ABH so far this season. Pitching has been a bit of a stumbling point for them. The bats are there, but the pitching not so much. He does have trouble fielding that one. However, it is going to be Ortiz Ranchez getting Whiny Jagoff out at first. Well, Holland is 3-3. His ERA is 3.06. He's pitched 17 strikeouts in the 7 games he's played and started. 50 innings pitched across those 7 games, so he makes his way into the 7th inning pretty often. And you can see why he's very economical with his pitches as he gets Trevor Knockmore grounding out right to first. Willie Dustis stepping on the bag. And Boob Jenner, second baseman, will hit it right to his counterpart at second base, Todd Gonzalez, and get the third out on the first pitch. So another 1-2-3 inning for the Haberdashers. This is Todd Gonzalez taking the plate. Gonna lead off with it. Well, it's gonna drop right out of reach of Whiny Jagoff, and he's on with a leadoff single. Gonzalez has averaged 3.06 this season. He's moved out of the leadoff spot into the middle of the order, and Bonky Gorman's going to get that right away from Willie Dustis and a Fancy Dan double play. Up next is Glenn Allen Mixon. Late swing on that one. He's batting .291. He's found himself in left field. And he's going to hit it right to Gorman. Throws to Wurtz for the end of the inning. So a 1-2-3 inning after a leadoff single from Todd Gonzalez. A double play and another out. It is the end of 2. Still 1-0. The double play brought to you by Fancy Dan Follicle Products. Put more fop in your coif with Fancy Dan and their assortments of styling salves, gelatin-based tonics, sculpting epoxies, and of course crimping powder, because why be a Mitchell when you can be a fancy Dan? Of course, the home run from Mike Truck as Willie Dustis grabs that one from foul ball Duncans and records out number 1 by stepping on the bag. Here's Dip Pearls, the catcher, batting .333 this season. So very competent batsmanship, 17 hits so far this season. And he's going to pop that one out right to the pitcher, Noel Holland, for out number 2. And this goes to the pitcher's spot, Bunky Gorman. The home run from Mike Truck, the only run scored so far this game, as we're in the top of the 3rd. This is Radio WGY. That home run brought to you by industry brand colognes, perfumes, and other fragrances. Gorman's going to be on with a single. The first hit of the game for the Haberdashers brings us to the top of the order, and Versi Moore. Moore is batting .348. The center fielder from the Charleston Crows, where he batted .347, so he's right on average. Consistent, if nothing else. That's going to just bounce off the barrier in foul territory for strike 2. Smashes that one. Is it high and far? It is. Oh, it's to industry. A 2-run home run for Versi Moore. That is only career home run number 5 for him, and only his 2nd this season. He had 3 in the nursery league. But he has smashed that one and made it a 2-1 game in favor of the Haberdashers, bringing us to Moss Wirtz. That home run brought to you by industry brand colognes, perfumes, and fragrances. Because if it smells good, it must be industry, and if it is industry, it must smell good. Found wherever smells are sold. Moss Wirtz is going to ground to right field. He's on with a single with 2 outs. No, 1 out. Yes, 2 outs. 2 outs, excuse me. That brings us to Stump Phillips. Who has 50 hits this season. Make that number 51 as he will ground out to left field. Ground into a single into left field. Beg your pardon, did not mean he grounded out. And Whiny Jagoff keeps this going. That's going to be another single, loading the bases for Trevor Knockmore and Whiny Jagoff. Does not add to his RBI total. And with 2 outs, Trevor Knockmore is batting .347. He's only batting .273 with runners in scoring position this season, so it's not an automatic thing. He's only had 6 RBIs this season, 3 home runs. He's worked himself into a 2-2 count with 2 outs. Hops it high in the air. That should be easy for Mike Truck. He takes a couple jogging steps into the center of the outfield and makes the grab. So 2 runs scored from a Versi Moore 2-run home run. Give the Haberdashers the lead going into the bottom of the 3rd. But ultimately, Noel Holland is able to get out of a bases-loaded situation. And bringing up Raul Chamberlain, bottom of the order for the home side, Amalgamated Holdings. Chamberlain hits it high. Is it high and far enough? It is not. It is going to be caught by Versi Moore. Out number 1, bringing us to Noel Holland. Got himself out of a bit of a jam in the top of the 3rd. Loading the bases, getting the final out necessary. He's going to pop that one into the air. Hit Burrows in fair territory. Calls everybody off and makes the catch. 2 outs, top of the order for the home side. Bobson Dugnut gets his first hit of the game. It's a single right up the center. Versi Moore grabs it, and he's on with a single for Orlando Dwin. Well, not much of a home run hitter, I guess, this season. He's got 11 RBIs. He only hit 4 last. He only hit not 4, but he only hit. Well, Orlando Dwin is going to do quite a number on that baseball. He's going to be in with a triple, and it's going to bat Dugnut home. He's in with a triple safely, and it's tied at 2 for Mike Truck. Orlando Dwin's first triple of the season. RBI number 12 for him. And he's been a great pickup for Holdings. Truck is going to hit that hard, but not hard enough. It's into the glove of Whiny Jagoff. And that's the end of 3. Well, Amalgamated Baseball Holdings tie things up yet again. Heading into the top of the 4th, it's Boob Jenner taking the plate. First pitch, he flies it out to center field. Mike Truck with the catch. Foul ball Duncan's batting .315 this season, gets hit by the first pitch from Oral Mulholland. He will take first base. Bring up Dip Pearls, 0 for 1 today. Mulholland has given up 7 home runs this season. That was number 7 in the prior inning. But Todd Gonzalez gets it a Fancy Dan to end the inning. Brought to you by Fancy Dan Follicle Products. Put more fop in your quaff with Fancy Dan. Yeah, my name is Pip Cleverly. We are live from the Amalgamated Baseball Grounds in Schenectady, New York. This is the first of a 3-game series between the New York Haberdashers and Amalgamated Baseball Holdings. Amalgamated Baseball Holdings with potential to gain some ground, move out of the basement, as it were. Ortiz Ranchez with a leadoff single. He's in the cleanup spot as Mike Truck has moved up to the 3rd spot in the lineup. It's hit number 36 of the season for Ortiz Ranchez, another developmental player out of the wholly owned baseball subsidiaries. And we're very happy to have him. He's a good addition at 3rd base. And this is Todd Gonzalez, the 2nd baseman. His 2nd single of the game. He's 2 for 2 today. Seems to really enjoy that spot in the middle of the order. Willie Dustis been a bit inconsistent, very good at first base. Batting .296 this season, had a very strong start. 5 home runs, 13 RBIs. It cooled off a bit, he's found his way back down into the middle of the order. He will foul that one up and caught by Dip Pearls for out number 1. 2 runners on and it's Glenn Allen Mixon. 7th of the order, let's strike 1 go by. And Mixon's going to hit into a Fancy Dan to end the inning. Brought to you by Fancy Dan Follicle Products. Why be a Mitchell when you can be a Fancy Dan? I want to say Glenn Allen Mixon has 13 RBIs this season. That matches already his performance in last year's season. Almost as many games, so that's to be fair. That's about on pace, but much longer season, of course. Twice as long, 42 games instead. This is going to be 84. And Oral Mulholland is, that barely made it to the plate. It was in the dirt before it even hit the plate. And that's Bonky Gorman on with yet another single. And the last time he did that, Versi Moore batted him home with a home run. 2-1 as that one is foul. Fills up the count with that strike. And he gets him looking. A big strikeout for Oral Mulholland. Gets Versi Moore. That is Mulholland's 18th strikeout, his first of the game. Gets Moss Works to hit it out to Mike Truck for out number 2. And Stump Phillips, a difficult out to get, is going to hit that one. It's going to drop just foul. Easy ground ball right to Bobson Dugnut for out number 3. Retiring the sides. 2 apiece, heading into the bottom of the 5th. Raul Chamberlain, the catcher, starting things off for Amalgamated Baseball Holdings. And he's going to drop that one in for a single. A diving Boob Jenner, unable to get to it. It was kind of in a no man's land sort of spot. sort of didn't get good contact on it, but it actually was the perfect amount of contact as it got him on first. Here is Oral Null Holland. Pops it high up into the air. Boob Jenner takes a couple steps back into the grass and records the out. And a fancy Dan to end the inning. Hit by Bobson Dugnut. And suddenly the defense is on lockdown here for both sides after an early blitz. That's going to be right to Willie Dustis, and that's the first out for Whiny Jagoff. Bring up Trevor Knockmore. 0 for 2 today. That is misfielded, and perhaps an error. We'll have to find out. Whether that will be scored or not. Boob Jenner hits it high. Is it far enough? It's going to be caught by Mike Truck at the warning track. And an easy out hit by Foulball Duncans. He's 0-2 today. We head to the bottom of the 6th, still tied at 2. I have a feeling this game is just hanging on a thread. Could go either way. However, the way that it starts to go is with an out that Orlando Dwin hits into. He's responsible for one of those 2 runs that he batted in earlier in the 3rd inning, I believe. Mike Truck, don't say he couldn't do it again. He can do it whenever he pleases. Right to the glove of Versi Moore, however. 2 outs. Gorman into the 6th inning with not a lot of pitches. That's pitch number 52. 53 as he faces Ortiz Ranchez. 1 for 2 with a single to lead off the 4th inning. Gets him swinging to end the inning at that point. Another strikeout for Bonky Gorman. Number 10 on the season for him. Heading to the top of the 7th. Dip hurls. Leads off with a single up the middle. And he's on with 1. Bringing us to the pitcher spot. Bonky Gorman is... Well, that's going to be his day. He is done for the day. In comes Gauze Blacksmith. Can often be found playing first base. Batting .339 this season, 6 home runs, 19 RBIs. And he grounds out to first base, moving, hurls to second. With 1 out, it brings us to the top of the order, and Versi Moore. His only hit of the day is a 2-run home run. The entirety of the scoring for the Haberdashers. He's going to ground that one out into the glove of Todd Gonzalez. The throw to Dustis is very much in time. And that will do it for Mr. Null Holland. That brings in Mario McElwain, usually the closing pitcher. He's often coming in a situational sort of way, and he gets 1 out. So we'll see if he will be if he will stay for another inning. And it's Thermos Hearn taking the mound for the Haberdashers in place of Bonky Gorman. And the first bat baseman hits to industry. Todd Gonzalez. Well, he's 3 for 3 today, and he has the go-ahead run through that solo home run. His 7th of the season, RBI number 20 for him. And ABH take the lead against their rivals. Well, why stop there? Willie Dustis singles to center. I was just going to say, Thermos Hearn has pitched 10 and 2/3 innings across 5 games so far this season. An ERA of 10.97, so that's not the best to report. He does get Mixon to ground out to Jenna. The throw to Wirtz in time gets him at first. Moves Dustis to second, and this is Raul Chamberlain, who will in fact get called out at first, but it moves Dustis now to third for Mario McIlwain, who will in fact bat. And boy, does he! It's high. It is into the glove of Percy Moore for out number 3. Well, it was a very close one to, I must say, it was very close to a home run to industry, but that does bring us to the top of the 8th with Mike Hernandez coming in the field to replace Glenn Allen Mixon. Stump Phillips starting things off. He's 1 for 3 today. Make that 1 for 4. He gets out number 1. Jagoff hits it right to Dugnut. Throw in time for out number 2. Bring up Trevor Knockmore. Had a single in the top of the 6th. Bit of a misfielding, but not discredited, just given the hit. Hits it foul for an 0-2 count. One and 2. Gets him swinging for out number 3. Will ABH take the plate again with the top of the order going? Dugnut, Dwin, and Truck are up to bat here in the bottom of the 8th. A very good chance to put more runs on the board. Dugnut only 1 for 3 today. But he's going to single that one right up the center. A diving Trevor Knockmore could not get to it. It is a deep, deep ground ball. He's in with a double. That's his 2nd hit of the day. Double number 9 for Dugnut on the season for him. Orlando Dwin is 409 with runners in scoring position. And he's going to get another hit. Up the middle. Is it going to bring enough to bring Dugnut home? He is not going to get to the throw in time. It does move him to second. So Dwin is on second. Here is Mike Truck, and I think we know what he is capable of. Statistics-wise, he's batting .438 and .440 when runners are in scoring position. How about another one? Single up to left side. It's only going to put him on first. And move Dwin to third. Still 4-2. No outs. Ortiz Ranchez smashes it on the first pitch. Could it possibly be to industry? A 3-run home run from Ortiz Ranchez. Ranchez hits home run number 5, makes it 7-2. ABH are just throttling these out of the ballpark today. Todd Gonzalez, well, we know he's hit a home run. He's 3 for 3 today. Why not continue his perfection? And Hearn's control is kind of gone from him. He's going to walk Gonzalez. Dustis gets the out at first, so it moves Gonzalez to second. That is out number 1. And we head to Glenn Allen Mixon. Well, that's going to be a single up the middle, and it's going to send home Gonzalez to make it 8-2. Well, my word, we are seeing some outstanding batsmanship today from Amalgamated Baseball Holdings. Can Chamberlain add to it? He's not the strongest of batsmen, but of course he has also been coming in late as far as been coming around lately to his normal form. He does get him striking out looking, so that is not going to be it today. Thomas Hearn having a bit of trouble today. He's kind of lost the plot a bit. He does get McIlwain, who grounds it right to Jenna, I believe it was, and throw in time. So a big inning for Amalgamated Baseball Holdings to take a gigantic lead, and they are now 3 outs away, facing Boob Jenna, Foul Ball Duncans, and Dip Hurls. That's going to be fair. That's going to be a single, possibly more, as I think that is a running Spike Hernandez, but no, it does keep Jenna at first. That's his first hit of the day. Bring up Foul Ball Duncans, who is yet to get a hit. He was hit by a pitch, so that's his only time on base. He does smash it to industry for a 2-run home run. That is Duncan's 3rd home run of the season. And it is now 8-4. Mario McIlwain not concerned too much, it seems. Just has 3 outs to get. Here is Dip Hurls. But it does mean that the Haberdashers will cycle around to the top of the order. A bit theatrical as McIlwain does dive onto that ball. But the throw is in time. Stokely Hathaway will come in as a pinch hitter for Thomas Hearn. Going batting .284 this season. 6 RBIs. 29 hits. He does get him striking out, so that's out number 2. And Versi Moore, man with a 2-run home run, is going to keep the game alive for ABH with a single. Bring up Moss Wirtz, and in comes Sleeve McDykel to get this final out. So whether or not this is a save situation, I don't believe it is. It's a 4-run game. He's coming in the last out of this, potentially. He's 2-0. 2.25 is his ERA. He's pitched 24 innings already, so he's been an outstanding reliever, and he's going to get Wirtz to pop that up. Mike Truck makes the catch, and Amalgamated Baseball Holdings get a very, very big win against their in-state rivals, the New York Haberdashers from downstate. Big, big win for them. ABH are your winners. The final score, New York Haberdashers 4 runs off 11 hits. Amalgamated Baseball Holdings, your winners, 8 runs off 14 hits. What a day it was for ABH. The winning pitcher is Mario McIlwain, coming in for 2 innings of relief in the 7th. Coming out from Oral Holland, no decision for him. Thomas Hearn gets the loss, as again the starting pitchers, no decisions for both Bonky Gorman and Oral Holland. Steve McDykel comes in for the final out of the game. He does not get a decision, as it was a 4-run lead at the time. But we do thank our friends at the Honeywheat Tobacco Company, bringing you fine, fresh, hand-rolled cigarettes grown from the fabled tobacco roads of the Carolinas. They are perfect for any occasion, be it a doctor's visit or your in-laws' visit. The third finest dandy of the day is Orlando Dwin, going 2 for 4 today with a triple and a double, batting in 2 runs. Ortiz Ranchez with a home run and 3 RBIs. There was a 3-run home run he hit. He hit that in the 8th inning. That was really broke it open for the home side. He is our second finest dandy, but our finest dandy of the day, getting a complimentary carton of Honeywheat cigarettes. Todd Gonzalez going 3 for 3 with a home run and an RBI. He is the finest dandy of the day, brought to you by the Honeywheat Tobacco Company, proudly sponsoring the finest standings of the day for the entire Continental League in the 1920 season, as the Honey Wheat Tobacco Company humbly requests that you smoke wheat every day. This is the first of the 3-game series that the home side have taken. Amalgamated Baseball Holdings will take to the field tomorrow yet again. In the second game of this series, it's 3 days in a row of these games. So that is going to move, well, it's going to move ABH to 13 and 18, New York down to 16 and 15. 3 games apart from one another, and still a far cry from the league-leading New Ohio Debonaires. So New York has at one point in second place. They have dropped a bit. ABH moving out of the basement, 2 games clear of Milwaukee. That's going to be it for us. So tomorrow we see taking the mound for the 2 sides. I believe it will be Rasmus Auctions for the New York Haberdashers, followed taking on Sean Facot of the home side, Amalgamated Baseball Holdings, whereas to close the series, it will be Herzl Good and Tim Wakefield at the top of the rotation. That is it for us today here on Radio WGY. We will return to the music, the company-sanctioned music here on Amalgamated Radio for the working class. My name is Pip Cleverly, and I remind you, please report to work tomorrow at your regularly scheduled times.